Sari's Knoll was built where the river slows. Not at the mouth where things end, not at the source where they begin, but at the bend, where water lingers, listens, and remembers. Homes rise from living wood and stone, shaped by hand, not conquest. Paths curve instead of marching straight. Nothing here was meant to dominate the land, only to belong to it. The river feeds the village, names its children, and carries its dead. It is witness to births, bargains, vows, and betrayals, whispered too softly for walls to hear. Outsiders call Sari's Knoll quaint. The villagers know better. Places like this do not endure by accident. They survive by balance and by keeping certain truths submerged. Shift toward ritual imagery. Faith shapes a village, but families are where belief is tested, where harmony fractures, secrets root, and the river's judgment becomes personal. In Sari's Knoll, no household is untouched by the current, and none are as simple as they appear. Faith in Sari's Knoll is not written, it flows. Knoll is the old way, the river faith that teaches life is cyclical, interconnected, and never truly owned. The people believe the world moves as water does, shaping itself through patience, memory, and balance, rather than force. At the heart of this belief is Nirthaswen, goddess of renewal and harmony. She is honoured not through commandments, but through attention, through tending the land, keeping the peace, and knowing when to yield rather than resist. Rituals happen at the water's edge. Births, unions, and farewells are marked with immersion, song, and reflection. The divine is not distant here, it listens. Yet, even the river has depths. Some families still remember the older, quieter practices, the veiled traditions that explore dream, desire, and shadow alongside harmony. These ways are spoken of carefully now, half remembered, half hidden, their names rarely said aloud. And beyond the riverlands, another faith presses inward. The Luminar Church speaks of light, order, and salvation. Its temples rise high. Its rules are clear. It offers certainty to those willing to surrender doubt, and power to those willing to enforce it. In Sari's Knoll, the old ways endure, but the current is changing. And even water, given enough pressure, must choose where to break. The Riverwoods have always stood at the edge of order. Thorian Riverwood is the village sheriff, steady, respected, and shaped by rules meant to keep chaos at bay. His home is one of duty, of watchful nights and locked doors. His children carry that weight differently. Aranis learned obedience. Lyriel learned silence. Elenara learned refusal. Years ago, her mother Esmelin was said to have drowned. An accident, a closed case, a river that took what it wanted. The village accepted it. The law recorded it. Elenara never did. He still watches the water, still listens for what the current refuses to say. And between father and daughter, a quiet war persists, not of anger, but of truth denied. Some families are built on love, others on survival. The Elderbrooks were once healers of rare warmth, laughter in their halls, herbs drying in the windows, a home shaped by care rather than fear. Then Cyril died, and grief hollowed the house from the inside out. Calliope Elderbrook still stands, still breathes, still mothers, but the river that once sustained her now tempts her. Her children feel it in the way time fractures inside the home. Moments of fierce devotion, followed by absences no one names. The Elderbrooks endure, but endurance is not the same as healing. The Reinhardts live closer to the river than most, and deeper within it. Healers, mystics, keepers of old rites, their faith bends where others stiffen. Orlane teaches reverence, Velryn teaches care, and their daughters each hear the river differently. Mariella listens for what lies beyond the bend, mountains, roads, the kind of future that does not ask permission. She yearns for distance, for fire, for motion. Elevenia stayed, or at least she appears to have. Her life looks proper, a husband, a farm, children at her skirts. But beneath that shape lies a history she never buried, and choices that still ripple outward, unanswered. The Greengroves are proof that appearances can be cultivated. Carthan Greengrove is a good man. He works the land, loves his children, and believes in the life he's built. Elevenia plays her part well. 3 children laugh in the fields, a home stands whole, a future appears settled. And yet, some truths do not belong to the soil that raised them. Jollivine sees what others cannot. Lyrian carries what was never meant to be hidden. The Greengrove farm is fertile, but not everything planted there belongs to Carthan. Syrian Moonwillow chose solitude long ago. He lives above the village, carved into stone and silence, shaping beauty with his hands and restraint with his heart. Some loves are never resolved. They are simply carried. The elm songs are known for refinement, restraint, and tradition. Marin Elm Song is none of those things. By day, she assists with the Willow Whisper Tavern, ostensibly on behalf of an absent noble patron. By night, she owns it outright, runs it efficiently, and listens carefully. She writes too. Romance novels passed hand to hand beneath respectable noses. Social critique disguised as scandal, signed by a so-called pixie courtesan. Marin understands power. She just prefers it informal. Nimril Elm Song took the highest room in the Lantern Spire library because no one thought to stop her. From the Watcher's Flame, she studies records most would rather forget. Contracts, donations, quiet transfers of wealth tied to the Luminar Church. Lyndon Bardenbane noticed the same irregularities. Together, they've begun asking the kind of questions that unsettle institutions built on light and silence. The library is crumbling, but truth, like fire, climbs. From the outside, Sari's Knoll appears unchanged. The river still runs clear, lanterns still glow at dusk, families still gather, still argue, still love one another in ways that are loud and ways that are carefully hidden. But villages do not unravel all at once. They fracture along fault lines, through grief left unresolved, truths left unspoken, faith tested by certainty, and love that refuses to stay contained. The riverwoods hold a loss the water has not returned. The elderbrooks carry a wound that cannot be healed by distance alone. The rainhearts remember what others pretend to forget. The green groves live with the cost of silence. And beyond the river bend, eyes have begun to turn towards Sari's Knoll, not in wonder, but in interest. Nerthaswen teaches that all things move as they must, but even the river cannot choose what it carries with it. When the current shifts, every soul must decide, do they flow or do they resist?